The Russian system has always had a very deep emphasis on footwork and almost a militant type of training regimen in the Soviet Union. As you can see, everybody trained together, everybody did the same circuits. It was as if they were building an army. And this style was created to compete against the Americans, the amateurs, and that they did. They would often beat the Americans in many amateur matches, Olympics, exhibitions, and this style was invented as a counter-punching style, but is now used effectively in the professional to be used as an offensive pressuring tool. Guys like Bivol, Usyk, Lomacenko, янибeк, the list keeps counting of Soviet fighters who grew up with this style from a young age. And as you can see, I'm using the pendulum in a rhythmic manner, and the style is very fluid and rhythmic, but it can also be static, which is why it's hard to prepare for, and it's hard to time and gauge. It's a very in and out manner, and you would think it would be easy to time, but it's actually counterintuitive. It doesn't leave the opponent much options with this stance. Number one, you're in a bladed stance, so the opponent doesn't have much to counter on. They're mostly trying to punch at your shoulder, and yeah, you got to have really good stamina to fight in this style. It's the hardest style to fight in for stamina wise. You have to go the extra mile to get your stamina that much better than the opponent. You have to have good stamina, just enough to keep this style going. Everything in the Russian system works off of footwork. And you're probably watching this, thinking, hey, Coach Kaz, that's pretty easy. I can just look at your feet and just teach myself what you're doing. You're just moving in and out. It's actually a lot more intricate than that. And there are stuff that I show my student Jack that I teach him to do while hitting mitts, while hitting bag, and also actually specially designed workout regimens I do not show on camera. So you can only get this stuff by signing up with me through email, and I will teach you remotely, or I will teach you in person. It's not as simple as just by looking at my feet. There are certain things I'm doing here that actually help me with my stamina. It's little secrets. So I would love to teach you. The proper bouncing stance for an Orthodox fighter is to have the left hand out like the shape of a cobra snake, the way that the wrist is arched like that, and the right hand is supposed to be tucked right, as we say, holding the phone like you're holding a phone to your cheek. It's got to be glued right to your cheek. That's how the right hand is for high guard, because you're moving in and out very, very quickly with your combos. You're supposed to use high guard too as well, when you are flat-footed, or when you are in the pendulum. But that is the only time you can really get away with your hands down, is when you're in the middle of a combo. But the left hand, the reason that the left hand is engaged like that for the amateurs is that when your hand is extended out by almost a foot like that, at least 6 inches, your fist is that much closer to the opponent's face, as where if you just had it tucked to your temple or your cheek or a little bit out, it has to go that much further from the point of A to B. So the Russians thought that if you keep your hand out, you're using your jab more often than not, so might as well keep it out and measure the opponent, and then your hand is that much closer to their face. It's a very scientific method of boxing.
By Vasil, a flurry of punches under a minute.
Straight left to the body. Great combination from Lomachenko.
Stop!
He found the opening.
Oh, and there's a short right hand and a devastating knockdown. Puts him under.